Hi, this is Amber Cote's final bio project. Hope you enjoy! And this video contains mature subject matter, so viewer discretion is advised. In this video, I will discuss reproduction and the important parts of how a baby is created, specifically in humans. In order to reproduce, you need to be of the same species. So you can't be a dog, a vampire, a cat, an alien, or a horse. They have to be human. In order to win the potential mate over, most animals have to woo or impress the other. Some birds do this with the bright colors of their wings. In order for reproduction to occur, two organisms must engage in sexual intercourse, unless you're a female shark, because then if you wanted to, you could just get pregnant by yourself. This is a diagram of a reproductive organ found in a human female body. And while all of these parts are important when you're trying to get pregnant, we are going to be focusing on the ovary right now. An ovary is the female gonad or reproductive gland in which the ova or egg and the hormones that regulate female secondary sex characteristics develop. This is a time lapse of an egg that is maturing in an ovary. Once this egg is fully mature, the ovary then sends a rush of hormones to the brain, telling it is ready to release this egg. After this happens, the egg is then released, and it will begin to travel to the fallopian tube. When it reaches the fallopian tube, it means it is then ready for fertilization. This is a diagram of a reproductive organ of a male human. These different parts then create and release the sperm in order to fertilize a female. Sperm are the mature motile sex cells of animals by which an ovum is fertilized. They typically have a compact head and one or more tails for swimming. Roughly 500 million sperm are released per ejaculation. Although there is a lot released in the beginning, only a few thousand end up making it to the fallopian tube. These fallopian tubes have very strong currents that the sperm must withstand, and then it's a race to the finish. Egg cells and sperm cells are both haploid, which means they contain 23 chromosomes, whereas a diploid cell contains a total of 46. It only takes one single sperm to fertilize one egg. An egg contains a protective layer around the outside, which a sperm must use a digestive enzyme in order to break. Once they make it through this layer, then they can fertilize the egg. This picture shows the huge size difference between an egg and a sperm cell. When the sperm makes contact with the egg, there is a chemical reaction that stops all other sperm from making contact. At the same time this is happening, inside the egg, the head of the sperm is breaking open and releasing the 23 chromosomes it contains. The female 23 chromosomes can sense that this is happening, and then they move to find these chromosomes. Then at one moment, they combine, which makes up the 46 chromosomes of a diploid cell. This is the moment of fertilization, where two haploid cells become a diploid zygote. Meanwhile, what's happening inside the mother? This zygote will undergo rapid cell division over the first 24 to 48 hours. This is called cleavage. This forms the morula. This forms a spherical ball of cells called the blastula, which then further develops into a blastocyst. These cells will then form into two layers. The outer layer, called the trophoblast, will contribute to the placenta and nourish the embryo. while the inner layer, called the embryoblast, is a mass of cells that will go on to form the embryo. At this stage, the cells will then differentiate into the different types needed by the organism. During gastrulation, the blastula folds upon itself to fold 3 layers of cells. Each of these layers is called a germ layer, which will differentiate into different organ systems. The 3 germ layers are the endoderm, the ectoderm, and the mesoderm. The ectoderm gives rise to the nervous system and the epidermis. The mesoderm gives rise to the muscle cells and connective tissue in the body. And the endoderm gives rise to the columnar cells found in the digestive system and many internal organs. When these cells are folding in on themselves, they form a hollow tube. This hollow tube is the start of the colon formation. In deuterostome development, the colon forms the mesodermal pocketings of the argytarian. Also in deuterostomes, the mouth is formed second while the anus is formed first. And this is how the digestive tract is created. This mass must then attach itself to the uterine lining, called the endometrial layer. If everything goes as planned, then implantation should take around 5 days, which means it should end about 12 days since the female ovulated the egg. After implantation, we get to the embryonic stage. This stage is where the embryo actually begins to grow into a fetus. It is inside an amniotic sac while attached to the placenta, which transfers nutrients from the mother. In the pregnancy, we are now at about month 2. The baby is about the size of a kidney bean and is constantly moving. They have distinct, slightly webbed fingers. By month 3, the baby is about 7 to 8 centimeters long and weighs about the same as half of a banana. It is at this point that they develop tiny, unique fingerprints. Month 4 means that the baby is about 13 centimeters long and weighs about 140 grams or 5 ounces. Their skeleton is starting to harden from cartilage to bone. 5 months in, and the baby has developed eyebrows and eyelids. If you stretched out their legs, they would be more than 27 centimeters long. At month 6, the baby weighs around 660 grams or 1.5 pounds. His wrinkled skin is starting to smooth out as he puts on some baby fat. By month 7, the baby is more than 40 centimeters long. They can open and close their eyes and probably see what's around them. Month 8 means that the baby now weighs around 2.2 kilos or 4.7 pounds. The layers of fat are filling him out, making him rounder, and his lungs are well developed. By 9 months, the baby is almost due. At birth, the average baby is more than 51 centimeters long from head to toe and weighs approximately 3.4 kilograms or 7.5 pounds. But babies vary widely in size at this stage. Once the baby decides it's ready to come out, the mother will go into labor. With this, she will push and feel a little pain, and then finally, out comes a baby. This baby will now spend the rest of its life outside of the mother. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please find my reference page in the comments below.